On to the U.S. presidential race now. U.S. President Joe Biden and his Republican challenger Donald Trump face one of the last tests in Tuesday's primaries in the battleground state of Pennsylvania. My colleague Caroline Malone is in Washington, D.C. She gives us more on this and also updates us on the latest on day 2 of the Trump trial and, of course, other stories making headlines around the world. Caroline, an interesting face-off expected today between Trump and Biden?
That's right. One of the country's most important battleground states in Pennsylvania is going to the polls on Tuesday in a primary election. Both Joe Biden and Donald Trump are most likely to be the presidential candidates for their parties, but voters in Pennsylvania still have other options to choose from. Both Biden and Trump recently held events in Pennsylvania ahead of the primary election, emphasizing the state's pivotal role in the U.S. general ballot. Well, the primary results in the swing state of Pennsylvania are set to reveal insights about the issues surrounding the election, specifically abortion and the Israel-Hamas conflict. Well, DD India's Kate Fisher joins us live now from Washington, D.C. So, Kate, we already know this year's likely presidential nominees. What more can you tell us about the contest in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, that's right. There's not much jeopardy about who is going to win likely the race in Pennsylvania. And we already know that Donald Trump will be the Republican nominee and Joe Biden will be the Democratic nominee. But Pennsylvania is a key swing state. It's one of the most evenly divided states in the US, which means that it will be looked at closely, even though we probably know the result. And people will be looking at, experts, analysts will be looking at things like turnout. How many people, despite knowing the answer to the result, will actually still come out and vote? Also, will some of those issues you just talked about change the way they vote? Will, for example, the war in Gaza stop some Democrats from supporting Joe Biden? And for Donald Trump as well, there is the fact that Nikki Haley, who was his closest challenger in the Republican race, is still on the ballot there. So there will be a look at whether she still gets votes, despite the fact she's no longer in the running, as a kind of protest vote against Donald Trump.
And Kate, what particular challenges do the candidates of Biden and Trump face in Pennsylvania?
Well, that for Donald Trump is one of the biggest. The fact that Nikki Haley is still on the ballot in the Republican primary in the state of Wisconsin, another swing state recently. Nikki Haley won 13% of the vote, even though she wasn't campaigning there and she's no longer in the race. And that is a concern for Team Trump. They don't want to see lots of people writing, lots of Republican voters putting Nikki Haley's name down on the ballot, because it shows that Donald Trump's support is not as steadfast as they would hope. For Joe Biden, the war in Gaza is a big issue. There is already among Democrats who disagree with the way he's dealing with this. There are a lot of them asking people to write uncommitted on their ballot paper, which is essentially a protest vote against Joe Biden. And the more people that do that, the more worrying that is for the Biden campaign as we head towards November. Also in Pennsylvania, liquefied natural gas could be a big issue. Joe Biden says he wants to put curbs on fracking, and Donald Trump is saying, no, let's frack. So there are the people that want to support that local industry there may well come out, and that will be a problem for the Democrats who have said that they want to put more curbs on that.
Well, thank you, Kate. That was Kate Fisher reporting live from Washington.